Hi everyone. So today I'm gonna do a tutorial on how to make some of these koi fish using polymer clay. So the reason why I started making these is because I've been making a miniature pond with my miniature club, and we have to just mix some fish and flowers to fill it in afterwards. So that's why I started experimenting on how to make the fish. So first I start with some Fimo. If the one that I have is a bit stiff, so if you want to soften it, just dip your fingertips in some cooking oil or baby oil and then rub, kind of mix it in with the clay, and it will soften it up. So once you do that, I start with white clay because you can paint the fish afterwards. So for our pond size, even these ones are a bit too big. They're okay, but slightly too big. So with the tail, from head to tail, it's like a bit over 3 centimeters. And I think this is the one that I've been testing with, so it's not done, but I think this size is better. Like 2 to 2.5 will be better for our tiny pond. So you start with rolling up a ball of clay, polymer clay, and right now I have this one is 0.9 centimeters to 1 centimeters, so it's not too big because I want to make the right size for the body of the fish. So once you have that, you kind of roll it so it's kind of elongated and keep rolling it like this. So you have almost the body, the whole body. The front part with the tail is about 1.5 centimeters. So now you kind of want to shape it to the body of the fish. So from the top, you're looking at it like this. Just kind of gently squeeze the tip so that it has the front, the mouth part, the head, and the tail part. You just squeeze a bit more so that it's thinner, because if you look at the fish, this here is like the more round and more fuller part of the fish, and starting here, the tail is kind of really thin, really flat from the top. So this is this has muscles too. Just this is where it is attached to a fin. So this is the fin that's really thin part, the tail part. So the structure of the fish is kind of like this is a teardrop, like a teardrop here, and this is a really long tail here. So you're trying to use your fingers to shape that overall fish shape. So that's what I'm doing here. So sometimes it takes practice, so I think this one doesn't look that good, so I'm gonna redo it because I'm just talking at the same time. It's not easy to focus. So just roll it up again into a ball, and then slowly roll on it so that it's getting a bit longer, like a sausage, but kind of do it slowly so you can manage to shape it in the way that you like. So yeah, again, mine isn't, this one is okay, like the body is quite full, but I realized afterwards looking at some of the pictures, it could be a bit fuller from if you're looking at the top, especially because when we're on the side it looks good, but when we're putting it inside the pond, we're mostly looking at it from the top, so it's really important that from the top it looks realistic as well. So you might want to just like Google pictures of the koi fish to study the shape. So now I think to make it fuller, I'm just kind of pushing it back. It's kind of cheating because the side it doesn't look that nice, but we're mostly more concerned about how it looks from the top for this project anyways, because we're gonna put the fish in the pond, so from this we can't really see the side that much. So try to just balance it from all the sides except for the bottom, which no one's gonna see. So anyways, so just keep shaping it gently. So now I'm pinching the back so that it's creating a really long tail like this, and even the head, I think it's yeah, it should be round. So I think I'm okay with it. So now let's do the fins. Oh, actually, yeah, we could do the tail first. So what I've done is I've actually done this beforehand, where I used like a plastic wrap and use a tiny piece of clay, put it on top. You can roll it so that it's kind of elongated, and then roll it out with a toothpick. So if you've seen my other video with the water lily flowers, that's, you should know how to do this. So just do it really thin, because the fins are very fragile and they're almost transparent if you look at, well, translucent if you seen fish in person, you would know. So try to make it very thin, and I've actually done one beforehand. Let's see. So I kind of flattened out a piece of clay, and while it is just flat but not too thin, I used scissors to cut the shape into a tail. So cut like a small triangle at the back, and then cut the side so that it overall it has like a fishtail shape. And then what you would do is just roll it out a bit more so that it's thinner. That's how you create that's an easier way to create a shape that you want. So this would be my tail, the fin part, so I'm gonna just roll it out a bit more. And then now to attach it, I'm just gonna use an X-Acto knife to cut the back of the tail, like create a slit here so that I can put the fin in. So just be careful with this. So right now the fin here looks a bit too long for the size of this fish, so I'm gonna cut it and make it smaller. Just make sure the size is right for your fish. For now, I'll just assume it's okay. I just don't want to spend too much time changing it for now. So I have this, the tail at the back. I'm inserting it between the slit here, and then using fingers to kind of press it here where they're attached. So this is what it looks like. So it's still a bit too big. That's why I'm gonna cut it. So I might even cut it here because it's quite big for this size. Yeah, and because it's sticky. The clay is a bit sticky because I added oil to it. So now I'm going to do the triangle part. And then gently pull it off. Just be careful with the scissors because basically that should be fine. I'm gonna try to fix the edge a bit with a toothpick. Make it look nicer. So, okay. Next, we're gonna do some texturing. So if you look at this one, it has some texturing on the body, which makes them look like they have like the scale, the pattern of the scales. So how I did that was I have two like carving tools that has all these patterns on the handle. I think it's designed like this so it's easier for you to hold, but they do look like fish scale if you look at them closely. So what I would do is just put one at the bottom and then like this and roll it onto the fish. So, and then I'm doing it again so that the bottom and the top are kind of not just flat but also kind of diagonally like this. So once I do that, I just turn it to this back. So one thing it's hard to control is that after I do this, the body is flattened out, so it's not as round as before, which I really wanted to keep the round shape of the fish, which is kind of hard if you're gonna do this process. So I guess you have to decide how much pressure you might want to do it with less pressure so that the fish maintains the shape a bit more. Okay. The tail. Okay. So is still pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm gonna put the fins on. I mean the fin for the top. I'll use a new piece. So roll up a new piece of clay like this. It should be almost the length of the top fin that you want it to, and then just roll it out with your toothpick. Let's see which is the top. I guess that's the top. Oops, where did my... Okay, it's down here. So now just position it on top of the fish. So cause the clay is kind of sticky already, so you don't have to worry too much about it falling off. Just after you place it on, just use your toothpick to kind of blend the side. Press on it gently so that it's sticking even more, and then slowly move towards the front and poke it. Oops, I'm out of camera, sorry. So I'll show it again. I wasn't sure if there was I was inside the camera or not. So after you put in the fin, the top one, use your toothpick to gently press on this and attach the tip as well. And same thing for the back. Kind of find a position where you can press it down along the back, the top of the fish, and just use your toothpick to help you press it down even more. Gently press it so it's attaching, and the tip will be touching the body as well, like this. Yeah, so this one, because I added a bit too much oil, even though it's softer, it's like my fingerprints are on it and it's covering the scale. So this side is okay. So I would maybe try to fix the shape of the fish, but it's fine for now. So my recommendation is don't add too much oil, because let it be a bit harder. You can soften it by just mixing it, rubbing it, like mixing it with your fingers. That will soften it, but not too much that is easy to change the shape of your sculpture while you're working on it. So the one when I did it before, I didn't use any oil and it was easier to manage the shape. Okay, so now let's attach the other fins at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I promise you, if it's slightly easier if you don't add that much, if the clay is not too soft, so don't add too much oil to it. And I think maybe possibly just it would be best if the body was a bit hard, like made using harder clay, and maybe just the fins if you want it to be thinner and like more flowy, because when it's swimming in the water, it really creates a beautiful like flowing shape. Then for the fins you can use softer clay, like add a bit oil to make the clay softer. And for the bottom fins, I already pre-made these, so just roll out a really thin piece of clay, and you can even cut it in half because the fish is kind of small. So where are my scissors? So even this, doing it in half is a bit small. So I can take half of this maybe. I just can't find my scissors, so I'm just using a toothpick to cut it in half. So after you do that, so you can press this to the bottom. And make it stand like that. So one more pair for the back of the fin, for the fish, back of the fish. So if like these are kind of too long, but I can, because we're not gonna see the bottom, and just place them right in the middle, so only the small part is sticking out. Or like you can cut them shorter if you want as well. It's just I can't find my scissors right now, so I'm just folding it so only a small cut it into a smaller piece. So we can make it a bit nicer. Just hide it, push it towards the really center, the bottom, so that you won't see it from the top. Yeah, okay. So now I would just kind of do a line on from here using the toothpick. Gently draw a line. Like here to here. It's like the head. It's like you can see the part of the head where there are no scales. So gently do that. So you can see the fins want to stick to the body, which is fine. Just as long as when you before baking, just fix it. And you can poke a hole in the front for the mouth, just a tiny one, and poke a hole here for the eye. And the eyeballs that I made, I think were kind of too big for them, so you can roll up a tiny piece of clay to be used as the eyeballs for the fish, or just paint it on if that's what you want. So this is optional, so it you can paint it afterwards. So some people would use acrylic paint before baking, but I recommend that you paint it after baking, because I think for miniature especially it's easier. Like right now is even maintaining the shape is kind of hard because I'm moving around too much. But basically that's done, and you would position it on a piece of tin foil and then like nicely affix the shape of the fish, so you can move the tail around. I'm sorry the tail doesn't look too nice because the one I prepared was too big, and so you can change it so it looks like it's swimming, and then the fin you can fix it up a little so it's standing up a bit more and flowing. So, and then after you do this on the tin foil, you can take the whole thing and put it in the oven, and the package says to bake it for at 130 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes per 6 millimeters 6 millimeters thickness. So I'm not sure how thick the fish is. It should be less than 1 centimeters. So I would say about 15 to 20 minutes at most. Yeah, so that should be fine. And after baking, you can paint it. So I'm not sure if I will do a separate video on painting, but basically it's just using tiny brushes and painting like random patterns on the koi fish, because like if you look at the pictures of koi fish, their patterns are pretty like random, like they're not like the so standard like the patterns on like zebras or tigers. So you can just randomly put some orange and black on the body, all over the body. And yeah, of course there are different colors, like there's yellow and orange koi fish as well. Yeah, okay, so I'll see if I have time to do another video on that, but that's basically it for this tutorial. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye.